Pretty much every multicellular animal is structured to survive, okay? Everything in your body is built for respiration, and that's supported by circulation, and all the way on down through the rest of the big 11. They support each other moving back up the scale. As you die, you'll find that number 11 will fail, then number 10, and then eventually all the way to number 1. Kind of a morbid thought. But the deal is that the big 11 are a physiological framework. They have very specific hand signals that we're giving you, and the hand symbols reflect actually the number and the order of the big 11. So we'd like you to practice these hand symbols as you go through and learn the terms. All right, and if you do that, it'll make this as... There we go. Okay, so let's start off with number 1, respiration. It's the most important reaction in the world to you. You're designed to sustain it. It involves taking carbohydrate and oxygen and basically breaking it down and giving off CO2, water, and giving off ATP, which you just said boom to because that's what we do in Barge's class, and nice job. All right, number 2 is circulation. Okay, you're going to put 2 fingers together, it's number 2. Okay, and you're going to put 2 fingers together just like we would take pulse. First thing an EMT would do if they found you injured would be to make sure you're breathing. That's respiration, number 1. Number 2, they'd check for a pulse. Okay, and put 2 fingers together, we check for a pulse. Circulation involves moving materials around your body either through vessels or without vessels, but mainly blood and lymph vessels, and in your cells it's cytoplasm. Third thing is responsiveness, and we're going to do 3 knuckles for this because this is typically, we generally respond when people rub us with 3 knuckles on our head and give us a noogie, that sort of thing. And it's also known the EMT response test where basically you would do a sternal rub to see if someone unconscious would respond to stimuli. We have better ways of doing that now. Okay, responsiveness is what it is. It's hard not to use respond in the definition, but think of it as an instant reaction to the environment. So your pupils, they constrict when you walk into a light room. You have reflexes, you know, when you're at the doctor's office and they hit that knee tendon and you respond to it. Okay, that's responsiveness. And the 4th thing is boundary maintenance. We're going to take 4 fingers, we're going to curl them over, we're going to look through them, okay, and have a little boundary right here. That's keeping what's inside you. Okay, it's very important in an emergency situation that we make sure you're breathing, have circulation, and respond before we start looking at any wounds or injuries that you have and start addressing those. All right, keeping what's inside you inside. Again, it's your skin, it'd be your cell membrane, and that's boundary maintenance. The 5th thing, we're going to take our 4 fingers, uncurl them, and just start waving our hands. That's movement, okay, just like spirit fingers. So it involves walking and running. It also involves breathing, okay, with your diaphragm moving, your lungs moving, your rib cage rising. It involves moving food through your body via peristalsis. It involves moving just small particles around your cells, like in the process of endocytosis, or just as your cells move amino acids from one side to the other, that sort of thing. Adaptation is number 6. Okay, so we're going to take our 5 fingers, we're going to make a fist. Okay, so we got 5 fingers in play. We're going to take one hand just like this, all fused together, and form it around it. Okay, it forms, it's adaptation. Adaptation is typically a longer term response to the environment. It involves immunity, learning, gaining strength, gaining endurance, that sort of thing, where you actually respond to stress and adapt to it. Okay, number 7 is digestion. So we're going to go from adaptation, number 6, okay, and then we're just going to do what digestion does, which we all know. It just breaks apart stuff, okay? It happens in your stomach, your mouth, all the way down through your digestive system, okay? And we break stuff apart, and we just make number 7. So we go from adaptation to digestion, okay? That's number 7. You can go 7 up, you can go 7 down, like the picture, whatever you're more comfortable with. So proteins get broken down into amino acids, starches get broken down into simple sugars, lipids, fatty acids, that sort of thing. Okay, number 8 is absorption. So we're going to go from number 7, just like this, to 8. Okay, and if you notice these fingers kind of sitting up, and it feels kind of weird to do this, but this is the shape generally of things that absorb in your body. Cilia absorb, and those are little cellular structures that help absorb air and oxygen and all sorts of other things. Villi are absorptive little structures that are made out of cells that are found in your large intestine. Okay, they help you absorb food, and that's what absorption is. It's taking the parts of what we digested, getting it into the bloodstream, getting it into the cells. Number 9, we're going to take all that stuff we absorbed and we're going to get it into cells and we're going to assimilate it, meaning we're going to take those amino acids that we digested and absorbed and we're going to make new proteins. So we just take our 8 fingers, fuse them together, put a thumb on top, there's 9. Okay, that's what assimilation is. So we store glucose as glycogen in our liver and somewhat in our muscles, and then we make new proteins from amino acids, that sort of thing. Number 10 is excretion. So think about it, it's kind of logical. We just digested, we absorbed, we assimilated what we needed. Now what we don't need, we're going to excrete. Okay, so we excrete CO2. We exhale that. We excrete urea and solid waste and all the rest of that. I typically do 10 down below the waist. It's hard to show you here because I'm sitting down, but you see the picture and you kind of get the idea. Okay, and then we have reproduction. This is the 11th one, okay, and we take basically 2 number 1s, okay, which is 11, okay, and make a new one. That's making new cells or making new organisms. Okay, bear in mind that it's not as leaning towards the sexual reproduction side as it is repair and growth. There's a lot more repair and growth that occurs inside your body that involves reproduction of new cells, new cell parts, that sort of thing. And we'll talk about that. Those are the processes involved with wound healing, growing, adapting to stress, that sort of thing. So really important that you review these big 11, okay? You go through them in order. If you can show me that you have them in order, that's very good. Okay, if you can remember the words and start putting definitions to them as well as started putting structures that we study in class to them, you're going to be much better off as we study this confusing thing called the human body.